Here we go. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to round 3 and 4 of the Mechanics Institute Tuesday Night Marathon. With me is FIDE Master Paul Whitehead, and I'm Abel Talamantes, chess director of the Mechanics Institute Chess Club. And using her power of invisibility is Dr. Judith Stare, our chief TD, GM of the chess club. And she's working right now about to do the pairings because as we know from this Tuesday night marathon, the pairings are done manually. So all the matchups for this tournament, we are hold on. There we go. All the matchups for this tournament are being done manually by Judith. So, and if you go to our link, which I will put in the Twitch chat, you can see the pairings for tonight. There you can follow, and we have some good matchups. So this is a 6-round tournament, and like I said, rounds 3 and 4 tonight. So round 3 will start in about 5 minutes. On the top board, we have Felix German taking on Kyron Griffith. On board 2, we have Eric Lee against Ryan Wang, who had an exciting win last week. Board 3, Roger Shi is looking to continue his incredible run, but he's facing Elliott Winslow. Board 4, we have Rui, Little Red Riding Hood against Robert Berry. And then board 5, Stuart Katz, Christian Clemens. On board 6, Michael Lum was supposed to take on John McCumsky, famed tournament director from the area. But he had something come up, so it looks like Michael Lum will get a bye, possibly an extra rated game. But Michael Lum will advance to round 4 with 2.5 points. And so on and so forth. A lot of good matchups here. Even some I'm really excited about. On board 9, I see Shashwath Sivakumar against Lauren Goodkind. I think that'll be a great matchup. Satvik Krishnan against Michael Walder. And then all the way down. And then we have our under 1600 section where we have like the battle for first place. The only 2 players with 2-0, Charlene Kwok and Daniel Perlob. So that should be exciting. And just to let the viewers know that we did run the first 2 rounds through fair play screening, and everything was legit. So
nice.
First 2 rounds are legit, everything good, and then we'll be starting pretty soon, round 3.
I'm glad to see Michael Walder playing.
Yeah, so he took a bye for round 1 and 2, and he's jumping into round 3.
Excellent.
And yeah. And then
wide open tournament.
And as we've seen in the Tuesday night marathon, even though at the top, there's like a handful of players that are clearly separated from the best. I would say the top 4 are kind of in a class of their own.
I would say so.
But
I'm really glad to see Roy and Eric playing in the same tournament.
Yeah, but the thing is we've seen from the Tuesday night marathons, anything can happen, and we have players here that are more than capable of holding their own and pulling off an upset. So it'll be interesting to see. We'll see what happens tonight. So, Paul, tell us about you've been pretty busy teaching chess the last couple of days. You did the Endgame Lab. How was the first Endgame Lab?
The Endgame Lab was great. I think I put a lot of stuff there, and I had to kind of rush through it. But the students got a lot of information, and we covered, I think, just about everything there is to know about the very basic concepts of king and pawn endings.
You did king and pawn, and
opposition to breakthroughs, to triangulation, to queening, queen versus queen, both pawns queen, queen versus rook pawn, queen versus knight pawn, It was pretty comprehensive for an hour and a half.
Yeah, they got a lot of material.
Practical examples, distant opposition. We're going to slow down a little bit and have a different approach in the second class, which is queen endings and knight endings. I've decided to sort of mash them into the same class because knight endings knight versus knight endings don't occur that often, and they're a lot like king and pawn endings. And queen endings are completely unfathomable. Nobody can figure them out. So we'll just take a sort of a stab at it, There's
and it's a strong group. I mean, you had about 10 students, and probably the average rating's about 1,500, around 1,600 around there. So it's good for that class of player to have their own class that's really can help them.
Yeah, I think, at the end of 6 weeks, even if they're not better endgame players, I think I'll be just from going over the material,
And I'm seeing some of the games are about to start, so I'll be pulling up games. And thank you to all the players that have accepted my friend request, and that was done so that I can find your games a lot easier. So let me just pull up a handful of stuff here, and
somebody's asking, are they paired already?
Some are paired. See,
I see.
And since we're doing manual pairing, we're sort of like we pair, two people together, and then they start, but it's going like one at a time. So it doesn't all pair at the same time. It goes sort of one at a time, but it all gets done within a matter of minutes. So for any player that's wondering, as long as you're in live chess, the game will just come up. So you don't have to do anything else, but just make sure you're in live chess.
Well, let's get going on these the greatest chess games being played at the Mechanics Institute.
Yeah,
right now.
And so let me fix this here, since we got a game up here, but I need to do a little Twitch surgery.
What have you been up to, Abel? And the Mechanics Institute?
Busy, actually. We got some, a little bit of like teaser info. Some I probably can't quite reveal yet, but and hold on as I fix this. We're sort of working on a collaboration with. Hold on, let me get this going. Oops. With hold on as I get my focus on here. With a group that's sort of new on the scene. Their name is Kamada Chess, and they sort of do work with Latin American. Hold on here as I fix this.
I'll let you fix the interface.
Yeah, let me fix this first and then get this going here. But as we speak right now, viewers can watch the Eric Lee Ryan Wang game, and if you talk about it, they can hear you. So if you want to just start,
this is White's played this H4 H5 idea, and this looks pretty dangerous for Black already. I mean, the players are blitzing through the opening here, but this seems to me kind of like what White's gotten what he wants. Probably as all theory, but these quick H4, H5 ideas made popular by AlphaZero, and they can be dangerous. All the top players are using these ideas too. Carlsen against Grunfeld and all that. So interesting stuff.
Let me see if I can pull up the top board, see if that's been paired. That is Kyron Griffith.
I like attacking positions, so I'm going to like White here. Pays to play aggressively.
And there we're switching now to Kyron Griffith's game against Felix German.
Okay.
This is the top board of the Tuesday night marathon. Let me change the orientation here. There we go.
Okay, so this is interesting. This is like a King's Indian where White has played Bishop E2 and H4, and Black has responded with a Benko style,
almost like a Benko gambit or
response
something
on the queen side.
Yeah. And this is Kyron doing it, so we're imagining he's got a plan.
Yeah. Well, this is I'm familiar with these kind of ideas too, and this is a way for Black to sort of take the aggression out of White's sails by gambiting a pawn. It's a common tactic. Kasparov played, for example, against a 4 pawns attack, would play on a couple of occasions, played the Benko style B5. And so we're in for a sharp game, no doubt about it.
We'll definitely keep an eye on this one. Let's switch to Rui's game. Rui is White, National Master Rui Yang Yan against Birovsky.
Okay, so this looks like it could have come out of a couple of different openings, maybe even a Philidor. And it's a solid setup for White, and it's still, the game is sort of in its infancy here.
So Borovsky is Robert Berry. His USCF rating is 1671. Picked up a good solid 2 wins last week, but he definitely has his hands full this time around.
Yeah, is Robert Berry? I used to know a Robert Berry. I wonder how long this Robert Berry's been around for.
It seems like he's been around a little bit, so could be the same.
I'm talking about ancient like me, you know.
Well, I mean, I hesitate to say that it could be, but he's new to our online playing, because I think this might be the first.
Yeah, I used to know a Robert Berry, so I was just wondering if it was him.
Let's take a peek at another one of our top boards. Is Elliott Winslow here?
Elliott Winslow.
He is Black against Roger Shee, who pulled off a surprising 2-0 last week, but now most definitely has his hands full.
Okay, well, this is fairly typical Nahdorf kind of Sicilian. Black has played this very modern idea to play H5. This looks good for Black. I mean, Black can play H4 already and then knight H5.
Sorry, let me get back to that game. There we go.
So that's a possibility. Oh.
Yeah, we just switch it back.
Yeah. So an interesting position. Yeah, for sure. But again, the game is still in its infancy. A lot can go on. But the White's setup has been a little, I'm not sure here. The F3 and H3 are not working well together, I think, with Black being able to play pawn H4 here. I'm not sure what Elliott's thinking about. H4 is such a natural looking move for Black here. All right,
let's take a look at the top board in the under 1600 section. That would be Daniel Perlov against Charlene Kwok. And there we go. Charlene is White. And Daniel Perlov, who is a mechanics regular, he is Black right here. Everything looks.
Is this the top board in the
top board in the under 1600? They're the only 2 players with 2-0.
Wow, that's a surprise. Hold on, let me plug in my headphones.
I'm just welcoming everyone to the Tuesday Night Marathon brought to you by the Mechanics Institute. This is round 3 of 6, and then at around 8 o'clock, we will have round 4. All the games are paired according to players' standard USCF rating, and they're paired manually by Chief Tournament Director Dr. Judith Starry.
Well, this is a fairly standard kind of position here. Nothing too exciting has happened here.
Let me jump right now to Kyron's game, because you had predicted it would be a sharp game.
Oh, yeah. It was shaping up that way for sure.
And this is where we're at right now here.
Oh, very, very interesting. So White went ahead after B5 and played H5, and Black played B4, and White took on G6. Yeah, let's backtrack a couple of moves, Abel, if you're able to.
There we go. So here we go.
There's an interesting game.
There's the Benko. And he played H5.
Okay.
Capture, push, take.
Hold on, I'm a little bit behind you here.
Yep.
Okay. So Black took on B5 and then played B4. And now White plays Knight B1. Knight B5, you're in danger of getting the knight trapped after Bishop A6. That's similar positions. But after White plays Knight B1, and Black plays Knight E4, what did White do? Bishop H6. It's going to be hard to get at that Black King, but I really like the way the aggressive intention.
Yeah, look at this
on Felix's part.
This is insane. No, I mean this is pretty.
Yeah, this is an incredibly sharp game.
And Felix trained. So is it possible here that Felix may be familiar with the sharpness of this?
Well, Black's moves have been pretty logical. I mean, he's taken a center pawn for the wing pawn over there, and then his king is hidden behind the pawn. And you kind of want this to work for Black, because White being so unreasonable in a way with this kind of play. But I mean, what's going to happen here? I guess knight to D2 is the move that springs to mind. And then, of course, if bishop takes rook, queen takes rook check, and there's a lot of pressure on that. There's pressure on the long diagonal, but
yeah, absolutely.
I think as long as Black contains, avoids the mate threats, White could fall seriously behind here.
And the funny thing is that as exposed as Black's king is over there, it looks nicely tucked away.
And that's a common thing where you just hide the king behind the, White has a lot of pieces still on the back rank, and it's hard to deliver mate in these kind of positions. And that makes me think that Black is safe here. Meanwhile, Black is up a pawn and is now threatening an entire rook. So it's White needs to prove that this is sort of a winning attack here. But it's very sharp. So,
and
what can I say?
Kaylin, you're watching. We're working on that right now. Thanks for letting us know. Let's flip to. Wait a minute. We have a move here.
Okay, good.
So let's stick to that.
Yeah, let's see what White played. Queen C2. I didn't even look at that. Attacking 2 pieces. I'm assuming Black's going to play bishop takes A1, Queen E4, and then Black needs to develop some pieces, and White needs to develop some pieces. This is an extraordinary start to the game.
I can't even tell who's winning. Like, who's winning this now?
Black still seems solid. That bishop at A1 is just a lifesaver here. Maybe knight d7, or black could even think about playing rook takes a2. I don't see the mate yet. You got to hand it to Felix. He's playing as aggressively as he can, but black is still up a pawn, and
this looks funny because black looked like it has all its pieces in the back rank except for the bishop that's completely on the opposite end, but is clearly the most powerful piece on the board right now.
And the same with white.
Yeah.
They both have their pieces all in the back row. So this is an interesting game. However, I think I like black. If black can survive this, he's up a pawn. He's maybe going to take the pawn at a2. If black plays rook a2, that's basically saying white, you have to win the game with an attack because I'm 2 pawns up, and show me. If black's a little more cautious, might play knight d7, allowing maybe bishop c4, defending. But white doesn't want to play bishop c4.
But if white wants to abandon the attack in favor of equalizing material, wouldn't you just take the rook?
Yeah, but then the weaknesses in white's position really show up. The pawn at a2.
Okay.
It's true.
Let me jump over to
interesting game still.
Lauren Goodkind against Shashwath Sivakumar. This to me is a really interesting game. A couple of really strong players. We had Lauren on the Mechanics Chess Social on Friday. It was outstanding interview, outstanding talk. It's a lot of fun to have her on. And here she is battling it out against a really, really strong Scholastic player. Shashwath Sivakumar. So how's it look to you?
Well, it looks like a sort of like a Dutch structure with the black pawn out, black bishop out at h5, stonewall. If white can play pawn e4, it's very sharp. White was at a bit of a crossroads there. It could have maybe played c5 and knight f4 and tried to dominate the center, the dark squares, but it's very sharp.
Let's take a peek at Eric Lee, who is white here against Ryan Wang. Eric Lee's are board 2.
Oh yeah, this game from the opening. White played very aggressively with h4, h5. White hasn't even given up a pawn and has this. Black has just played knight h5, I guess, to try to block up the h file. This is a strong position for white, clearly.
What's to stop white from just going
g4 and queen h6 check?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Now, the pawn will be hanging at f2 then, and but it looks like it's going to be. Looks like it wins a piece. G4, knight f6. Queen h6, king back, pawn e5. I guess the only messy thing then is queen f2, ef6, knight f6, but black has lost a piece.
All right, we'll see how that develops.
Am I missing something? If I am, people tell me. G4, knight f6.
Yeah, if you're watching,
pawn e5.
If you're watching the broadcast and you want to call Paul out for missing something,
I make tons of mistakes. I've noticed.
Just let us know in the chat. And just throwing it out there, if someone is watching and has not followed the Mechanics channel on Twitch, please click that purple follow button because we're at 599 followers. I would love to get to 600 by the end of the broadcast.
Wow, 599.
599. And I'm like, I've been imploring for one more to follow. So just please, even if you don't want to follow, just click it. It'll complete something that feels incomplete. I would love to get to 600. So
nice.
All right, let's look back at the top board, Kyron Griffith and Felix German, because I think we've had a few more moves played.
Okay. All right, the game that's defying understanding. Okay, so black plays f5, hitting the queen, and white plays queen h4.
Is it looking to get to g5?
Well, I'm not sure if f5 was necessary or not, but now if I'm white, I've got a little bit of a plan here, and a long-term plan. It may not come to fruition, but that's to play knight h3 and knight f4 and knight g6 check. I'm trying to find a way into black's position here. That's kind of the way I'm thinking.
And folks watching, time control is game in 35 with 2-second increment. Game in 35 minutes. This is USCF online rated. Let's jump real quick to Eric Lee's game because he did play g4. So it looks like black could be in a little bit of trouble here. And we'll...
Yeah, I mean, white was taking some time there, just figuring out why not play this move that looks just so winning, knight f6, queen check, and pawn to e5, and black has to give up a piece.
Let's check in on Rui.
Okay.
See how her game is going. She's got pawns all over the center.
Yeah, so white has been building up here, and white has played f4, and black has played e takes f4, and white has taken back with the g pawn, and that's how we've gotten this position.
And Robert Barry castles long, so now we're going to have
that's a nice aggressive move,
attack.
But white's pretty solid there. Even playing bishop h5, g takes h5, knight g3, and then knight comes to f5. I don't like this for black. I do not like that.
And, the one thing I'm looking at here is that even though black castled long, clearly wanting to attack the other side, if you look at Rui's bishops, they're pointed squarely in that direction, so...
Yeah, and I'm even thinking bishop h5 and just converting and converting an advantage here. It looks very strong. It's kind of counterintuitive to give up that bishop, and open the g file. But after gh5, knight g3 threatens the pawn at h5. But more importantly, you can play knight f5. And okay, so Rui decides to play d5. And this can be also combined with bishop h5, first shutting out the white squared bishop.
Let me just take a quick peek.
White's got a nice game here.
Back at Kyron Griffith's game and Felix, which is sort of the one that's got action written all over it.
All right, so black played the bishop back. Black played a couple of defensive moves and then did take the pawn at a2. And like I said, white seems to have sort of one idea here, which is to play knight h3 and knight f4 and knight g6 check. And, meanwhile, incurring some problems on the other side of the board. Rook a1 is a threat here.
Well, you got to hand it to Felix for going for it. Like, this was his... This is what it's going to take to beat someone like Kyron.
Well, I'm not sure if it's exactly this that it's going to take. It seems to me that black is, the onus is definitely on white here.
Well, knight h3.
Here comes,
yeah.
Well, that's what I called. It's the only idea here to play.
Trying to get to that g6. Yeah. Let's take a quick look.
Exciting game going on here, folks.
And here we have Christian Clemens as black mechanics regular against Stuart Katz from Sacramento, who also frequently plays at mechanics. So thought we'd give a live look to them.
Fairly typical position. White's just taking a bishop at g6, and white has the two bishops, and the pawn situation is kind of static, so we've got a long ways to go in this game. Nobody's in serious jeopardy here.
And I just flip now to this is Simona Neiberg as Roboro 13.
Well, black is winning here, I think.
The upper rook. I see that now. Unless the white pawns are going the other direction. So it looks like Simona may be able to take an hour break before the next game, assuming everything goes as planned.
Yeah, black is winning this pretty comfortably.
So again, this is the top board in the under 1600. Charlene Kwok is white against Daniel Perlov, but looks like white's got the firepower.
White has sacrificed a piece for 2 pawns, and if it has a dominating position with an attack here. I like playing maybe pawn to e5 here and just kind of clamping down on black. It looks very difficult for black here. Pawn e5. I guess queen b6 check.
And then just flipping through another game here. This is Adam Mercado is white. Always provides a lot of action in his games. He's playing expert Austin Mai, who's like 2150 USCF. Black
is better here. With the control of a d4 square, but it still needs to create another weakness. That's a common endgame kind of thought.
Let's jump back real quick to Kyron's game again. This is sort of the game of the round right here. It's also our top board.
Right.
Kyron against Felix German, who is white.
So Kyron's having a long think. And I'm going to put the question to Kyron's playing pawn f5 when the white queen was on e4. There was no visible threat to black at that point that I saw. And after f5, there's the inroad to e6 is possible now. I mean to g6 with the white knight. It's made it a little bit uncomfortable for black. Black has to do some real thinking here to sort of get out of that idea.
He's still
the pawn at f7. If a black pawn was at f7, I'm still not seeing a way in for white. So f5 and bishop f6 kind of looked a little panicky, almost to me. And maybe black should have been a little bit more resolute and just taken that pawn at a2 right away, or develop with knight d7.
And let's take a quick peek at...
let's see. And it's not clear. Yeah.
Take a quick peek at FIDE master Eric Lee, who is white here against Ryan Wang.
I like how Kalen Melville is commenting on the game, on another game while he's playing another one.
I wonder if he's playing because there was an issue pairing his game in the beginning. I
thought we just looked at one of his games.
No, but let me see here because I'll be able to find that.
Oh, was that somebody else's game?
Yeah, he is not playing right now.
Oh, he's not playing. Okay.
So I don't know what came of that game.
That's okay. So black lost a piece. Black lost a piece.
Yeah, and that's how we figured it would go. Let's check in on Rui.
And there's still, now, but black has a little bit of play here, but white should be able to squelch it, I think.
This is another interesting game between Rui and Robert Berry. Rui is white.
So Rui is not following my idea of taking on h5 and playing knight g3. Previously. Instead, she's kind of combined this d5 move with pawn to b4, which I think is interesting and a good way to play. And it's black needs to find a way to continue here, and it's maybe not easy.
Let me flip to Elliott Winslow real quick because the game looks a little interesting. So Elliott is black here.
Yeah, very well. Black is doing what black is supposed to do here. Black just played knight e5. I'm surprised that black didn't play queen f1 check first and then played knight e5.
Yeah, that's how it played out.
That looked like it would have just been basically over. Queen f1 check and then knight takes e5. Yeah. Still, very strong position for black, obviously. I guess white's thinking about rook f8 check. King f8, queen check, king e7. Black is still quite safe there, I think. Queen g7, then queen f1 check, or queen c2 mate, sorry. That's not going to work. White's in trouble here.
And checking in
White's
on
definitely in trouble.
Charlene and Daniel Perlov.
Probably losing.
It looks like Charlene sacrificed and got compensation for it.
Yeah, took the exchange, and now it's a rook versus two minor pieces rather, and white's winning yet another pawn.
Yeah.
So black is
tough.
White's played this well. White has played this well. The other rook to e1 might have been better, though. I mean, what would have happened? Black would have had to play bishop e6.
It's interesting how open this position is. Jumping over to
Black's close to losing here with all this.
Sivakumar and Lauren Goodkind. Shashwath Sivakumar and Lauren Goodkind. Looks
Black has lined up a nice little battery with queen g3 and taking the h-pawn with check.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, also defends the pawn at e6. And that means the black rook can join in with rook f8. Queen takes h3, and then the rook goes to f8.
Well, and then
White's under a strong attack here, and 2 pawns down.
And the king's got to stay in the back rank. So I guess not necessarily.
Queen check, king e2, rook f8. Black is winning here.
All right, and that would be a minor upset in that match. Not a huge upset. Let's take
one pawn up, but with the attack. Yeah.
Let's go back to board 1. And it looks like Kyron went, so it looks like he went knight d7.
Okay, so I guess knight f4 can be met by knight e5. Yeah.
And then defends the g6.
Defends g6. But it's scary. If that knight could get dislodged somehow. And Felix is racking his brains trying to figure out how to win this.
Yeah.
Or find a knockout blow. But there was something a little, I'm gonna stick my neck out and just say that I think White's attack was a little cheesy. It didn't really have enough. There weren't enough pieces. Black's kind of let White in a little bit with f5 and bishop f6, I think, but. Still Black's holding and White's trying to think. I mean, if there's a win here for White, he's got plenty of time to find it.
And let's.
But I have my doubts.
Let's check in on this game, and this is I believe it's Kritin Gopalakrishnan against Ashik Uzaman, who has played a lot of mechanics. He's played the Tuesday Night Marathon. He's also a Cal Chess board member. So it's nice to see him joining the online community. And actually, his son's also playing in this tournament, too. So thank you, Ashik, for playing. And Ashik is black right here.
Well, this is an interesting position with both kings hemmed in by pawns on opposite wings of the board. You don't see that kind of thing too often. So, I mean, with the queens on, it's still going to be tactics that are going to decide some of this. Black has a strong centralized position, but black has some pawn weaknesses, a4, d6. White just has that one pawn at h4, weak, and back rank weaknesses for both players. And okay, so white decides to liquidate.
So let's check in on
Tough game. I'm,
back to
difficult to call right now.
And Eric Lee appears to be up a piece, just as we figured.
Yeah, and now offering the exchange of queens.
Getting back to fundamentals now. Just
back to fundamentals. Yeah.
Let's take.
So this just looks pretty bad for black. I'm gonna stick my neck out, and now for some reason, black is trading queens. So okay, we have this, and Roy has decided to sort of go for it and not play. And I like the way black has fought back here nicely.
Yeah, her bishops look pretty ominous. Actually, that center pawn control.
Yeah, but doesn't black have knight takes d5 here? Oh, I see. If black doesn't have knight d5, it's pretty much over with this pawn center. I thought black had fought back, but can't play knight d5. It doesn't look like it, despite the pin. I thought that was black's only hope here.
This is got some good games.
This is not looking good for black.
And let's take a peek at Elliott Winslow's game here. He appeared to have things relatively in control. Probably still looks that way.
Yeah, black's okay. So this is interesting. I mean, if I was black, I'd be maybe black's offering the exchange of queens here.
But isn't black's offering knight d3, right? That's a major.
Well, then the king could move, but I mean, the major threat is queen takes g2. I think that black is offering the exchange of queens and trying to win this in a technical manner. Queen f1 check a move earlier, and then knight takes e5 would have just been devastating. But black is up a pawn in an endgame and against an international master.
And just
that's a tough one.
I just want to give a shout out to Elliott because he came through in our club match against Stevenson High School on Saturday. Mechanics Institute, by the way, is currently in 13th place out of 61 teams. And Lucky 13, and we're going to be playing a club from Argentina on Saturday in the final round. And I'm going to put the word out to our players. I want our top team out there, and I would love to see Mechanics finish in the top 10 of the Worldwide Clubs League. That would be fantastic.
That would be amazing.
But anyway, Elliott played this fantastic game. It was equal to the one we saw him play in the Tuesday Night Online. Just brilliant win. And I promised...
He's a man on fire.
I promised I would send it to Nick to do the annotations on that. So I will do that.
Excellent.
All right, back to... wow.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, so Elliott's got a technical game going here. Okay, so white plays knight g5.
Now, does that sort of not...
Well, that threatens knight f7 check, or bishop takes rook and then knight f7 check, and also threatens knight e6. And Kyron has kind of brought a little bit of this on himself with this f5 move. I guess if bishop g5, queen g5 threatens queen g7 mates, and things are kind of hanging by a thread. Bishop g5, queen g5, rook f7 is possible, I suppose.
And it looks like, let me flip over to this game because
very, every move needs to be calculated here. Bishop g5, queen g5, rook f7. Oh.
And then I just flipped to this game because it seems like Sivakumar found a way to survive that initial onslaught.
No, but this is not surviving. This is tough. This is a very tough position for white. Down a pawn and getting attacked. So basically, it's kind of where we were.
It looks like in the under 1300, it looks like Charlene is putting the squeeze now on Daniel Perloff. And if she wins this game, she will be the only 3-0 in that section.
Well, black has to win a few pawns up there. I mean, this is, materially, this is very nice for white. That's for sure.
The problem with this is probably get one pawn back, but then you start trading everything off, and then...
Yeah, I think white would like to trade some rooks. That's probably inevitable. And then one of the kingside pawns is going to cost black a piece.
And let's take a look at the finale of this, because this played out between Rui and Robert Berry. So, so this is how the end came.
Okay.
There. Just relentless pressure.
Well, black should probably sack a piece on d6. That's before it's too late.
There it is, right there.
Just doesn't want to take on d6 and just is getting killed.
So
yeah, this was brutal.
Congratulations to Rui, who turned up the heat and got the win. Now she's got a nice little break before the 8 o'clock round, but she is 3-0 in the Tuesday night marathon. Let's go back to board one and see if
black made some serious errors in this game. Obviously.
So, yeah, looks like...
Okay, so my prediction occurred here, take and rook f7. So, what else has happened here? Oh, black played rook takes e2.
Yeah, look at
black
that.
Played rook takes e2, king e2, and then played rook f7.
There we go. Yeah.
And trying to take some of the wind out of white's sails there.
And at the end of all of this, black is up a pawn.
Black is up a serious pawn here. White's getting on the long diagonal, but that's not... Black has the long diagonal covered.
Right.
With knight f6.
And knight f6 looks like a really good option, too.
Yeah, it's a good move here. Black's position's kind of sticking together here, and white needs that other knight at b1 to get into the game. So queen b1, I want to play knight d2. I would have preferred to play knight d2. But this is tough.
I have to give a shout out to the players of the Tuesday Night Marathon, because one of the things about this event, since we're doing the pairings manually, we're also relying on the players to record their own results, just as if you're at an over-the-board live tournament. So there's a Google sheet where players can record the results. And Judith's in the chat saying she is very, very, very happy that players are doing it. Once their games are over, they're going to the Google sheet and recording their results. So thank you, players, for making Judith's life a little bit easier, because it is hard enough pairing all the games manually on chess.com for this round. So thank you, players.
Now white's going ahead with this queen b2 idea, but it doesn't seem to do anything.
So Paul, you are an endgame instructor. So here we go. In this game between Adam Mercado and Austin Mai, Austin Mai is up a pawn and has the bishop against the knight.
This looks like a win for white. I'm for black rather.
Right.
This has got to be a win for black.
Because it has pawns on both. Yeah.
Pawns on both sides of the board and an extra potential pass pawn on the queen side. The knight's going to be tricky, but my gut says that black is winning this.
Let's peek on Elliott Winslow's game here.
For sure.
And he is indeed up an exchange, a full exchange.
Oh, Elliott has won the exchange here.
So
okay.
This should be...
this has got to be a win.
Elementary, my dear Watson, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, of course, you always have to be careful, but, 2 pass pawns and the exchange ahead. That's, maybe Bobby Fischer could somehow swindle Elliott out of this. Yeah, there have been some amazing draws, exchanges down, and I'm thinking of Walter Brown versus Bobby Fischer, some other famous games.
All right, let's. I know and Eric's doing what Eric does.
Let's see what Eric's doing.
Up a piece, and now putting the squeeze.
What's going to happen here is black is now still a piece down and just getting destroyed.
That's your analysis.
Is that clear enough?
Yeah, that's pretty clear analysis.
That's clear enough.
All right, let's see this here. Back to board 1, which has been the most dynamic game of the round.
Yeah, but it's clear that to me. That white is starting to run out of gas here. The weak pawn at d5 is about to fall, and the attack has played itself out, and Felix has not been able to bring home the bacon here. This is losing. It looks to me like white is lost.
And black's bishop is still on c.
Kept trying to work his pieces in, but rook e2 was a nice move by Kyron, just taking away that
white squared bishop. Was that it?
Yeah, that was a very good move. Very, very good move.
All right, let's take a... Who do we got to peek at? Let's go back to this Sivakumar, Lauren Goodkind game.
Okay.
And Lauren is chasing Sivakumar around. And then the question is does she have enough to close the deal?
Let's see. If king to b1, if I'm black, right, and I don't see anything better, I'm just going to play queen to e1 and exchange queens. And then white plays rook e3 at the end of that. But even then, bishop h4, rook to e takes e6, rook takes f3. Black has an extra pawn, 2 connected pass pawns, but it's not clear. It's not completely clear. I mean, black obviously is better here with a pass pawn, with an outside pass pawn, but it's dangerous. The position has dangers.
Let's take a peek at this game. We haven't looked at this one yet. This is Tejas Mahesh, who is black, against Ayan Zaman. Very interesting.
Black looks like black's winning here with a powerful attack.
Put the steamroller
against the king stranded in the middle. And plus up a pawn as well. So this looks like, pawn to e3 looks incredibly strong here. And then, like, if pawn to e3, queen to e2, for example, black could play queen takes b6, and that would just win a piece. pawn takes queen, rook takes c1 check.
What about this? So, Mr. Endgame, we
Mr.
have
Endgame.
Mr. Endgame. This is Barbara Goodkind is white against Vish 180, who is Vishva Nanoganda. What do you make of this ending?
It looks like a draw, I imagine, because Black's king can't get out. I mean, Black will even lose if Black plays king a2, h2, rook check, and then make a queen. It would almost lose. King to g. White just plays king moves.
Just could play king moves and then just throw a check.
King to d2,
right?
King to d2, and then just check when the king comes out, and that's how Black is going to lose. I mean, Black is going to lose if Black plays something silly like that. I think Black needs to play rook back to c6 here.
Let's do a check-in back on board 1.
Maybe rook to e7.
And now it looks like Chiron is the one throwing the firepower out.
Yeah, that's what was going to happen here.
And now it's falling apart.
Rook takes h6.
And that is the game.
That's the game right there.
Yeah. So congratulations to Chiron, who withstood a little bit of an onslaught and had to go into the tank a little bit, but got the job done, covered all his squares. And he is now 3-0. Moving on to the next round.
White never really got anything going there.
And Chiron's in the chat thinking move 22, queen h5 was probably winning, which is
White.
Right.
Ask Chiron. I'm not seeing that chat, but you could ask in the chess.com. Ask him about his pawn f5 move.
So it's
sure
right. It's right here. Is at this point that he thinks queen h5 might have been winning.
Yeah, White went the wrong way with the queen, huh?
Yeah, he went to c1.
Queen h5, rook h7, bishop g7 check is the idea here.
Yeah.
A nice tactic.
So that.
But what about knight to, and if knight to e5, pawn to f4, what about queen e8? Queen h5, queen e8, then bishop g7 check again. So Felix had his chance here.
Yeah, and Chiron saw it. So.
And that's after trying to create all these tactical possibilities. And he misses it.
I got to jump to this game. Look at this. This is just shoving the pawns right down.
Pawn f5 maybe wasn't such a great move on. This is just. This is brutal. Bad.
This is brutal.
Yeah. Ayan is getting. Yeah, this is a win all ways from Sunday, obviously. Also winning was pawn to e2.
Sunday, Monday, any day of the week. Eric Lee looks like he's going to convert this game. That should be over soon. Let's take a peek at that end game. That was a draw between Barbara Goodkind and Vishva Nanoganda. The rook ending. Here we go. So this was Austin Maya's Black was a pawn ahead. He's still a pawn ahead. Is it still a win? Should be one.
Black looks like he's better, but White's now going for this outside pass pawn. One of those classic endgame techniques that everybody should know about.
Yeah, and he's created that.
And if I'm White, I'm going to play g takes h4. You guys might be ahead of me in the chat there, but that pawn is going to be a major distraction here. So the question is, can Black's king go all the way around, and or Black can try to hold this pawn and then make a pass pawn himself? I mean, still Black's for choice. A very complex position here, obviously.
Let's
Going to take white a while to get the knight to g3 or something to play h5. So
taking a look at Ashik Uzman.
Very complex.
Ashik Uzman.
Oh, this game.
And
this is the game with the blockaded kings.
Yeah, blockaded kings. Even material too.
Right. Oh, this is amazing. Another very complex ending we're seeing here.
And for those just tuning in, this is round 3 of the Tuesday Night Marathon. Round 4 will be tonight at around 8 o'clock. Round 4, and we should have some strong games especially in the open section, in the top section.
Both players are using their passed pawns. If I'm black, I'm probably going to play g5 here. Although rook f4 might target that a pawn that just moved up.
Yep, and black is doing that.
Rook f4. Oh no, black played g5 instead. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, and now maybe rook f4 is necessary. Oh, f6. Okay.
And viewers, you want to stay tuned after the 8 o'clock for the 4th round, because we're going to have some fantastic games shaping up. All the strong players have held their court. So
I think white missed a chance there of playing a6, and if f takes e5, a7. White missed a golden opportunity right here, maybe of playing, instead of knight d3, of playing pawn to a6.
Oh, right here.
Going back a move, or so. Right here, after f6, a6.
e6.
And if pawn takes knight at e5, pawn a7, and the pawn cannot be stopped.
Huh. Yeah.
And with the problem is black could maybe play king b6. White can't play rook d6 because of rook f1 mate. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening here.
Now,
and tactics in the endgame kind of thing.
So white just played knight c1, going after that
White's
pawn.
just sick of that pawn. I don't blame him.
It's just locked the king in there.
Well, black's still for choice with the especially after rook a5, knight b3. I mean, there's still the two connected passed pawns on the king side, but it's been a tough game.
This is tough because I mean, the pawns are hanging everywhere. Tejas Mahesh did convert that game with the pawn storm coming in. So congratulations.
I thought so. Rook b5. Okay, so black's trying to get everything. He's trying to have his cake and eat it too. Trying to play king c6.
Who doesn't?
Right. All right. It's human nature.
Yeah. We're all animals.
So rook d3. I was wondering about this now. And if king c6, knight b3.
And we got two pawns on the opposite ends of the board.
Let's see.
And Eric Lee did convert his game, so he is a winner. Congratulations to Eric Lee.
Yeah, smooth game. This game is, it's still a fight here. White's threatening knight d4 check.
Let's take a quick peek.
What a fight.
A quick peek at this end game we've sort of been following with Adam Mercado as white against Austin Mai.
Okay.
Oh, and Adam dropped another pawn, so this
is now looking like a solid win for black here.
This will be grim. Yeah. Let's check in on Lauren Goodkind and Shashwat Sivakumar.
All right.
And he's held. I mean,
he's holding. And black did all these things to chase the white king to b1, but it didn't really do anything. And sometimes it's better to leave the king in an insecure position and strengthen your game in another way rather than just chase it with a bunch of checks and it ends up being in a better spot.
Right.
So these kind of things have to be well thought out. I mean, I don't see what Black's achieved in the last 10 moves, and White's certainly achieved something by hiding the king at b1.
Quick peek at Elliott Winslow, but he is still in control. And here's the thing with Elliott, he got the
More
advantage.
More than in control. Yeah. There goes the bishop at b2.
Oh, yeah. He got the advantage and then simplified and then just slowly but surely built his advantage. Let's
This game is over.
Austin Mai did convert his game. So back to this end game we were looking at between Ashik Uzman and Krishnan.
Oh, yeah, this game.
So White's managed to...
Okay, so if king c2, rook b2 check. Now rook b2 doesn't work because of rook e8. So knight c4. I mean, Black looks better now, but on the other hand, White just needs to go after these pawns on the other side of the board here. And this could easily head to a draw here.
And look at the time. I mean, Ashik's got 15 minutes left, and
White's done very well. I think Black maybe is moving a little too fast here. Rook c3. I would have played rook e6 and just gone straight after those pawns.
I think moving fast is in Ashik's nature because he's usually running to mechanics after work and running a little bit late, so he's used to moving quick.
White should have played rook e6. White got nowhere at all by playing rook c3. And
wow, interesting.
I'm not sure what although this could be a funny draw with Ashik is, both players are playing like they know exactly what's going on here, and I'm completely confused. And now rook c8, and Black is probably winning now.
Yeah, because that king is there defending.
Yeah, and Black has two connected pass pawns. And now the king's going maybe the wrong way, but he took no time at all on it.
And here's the funny game.
Should have gone to d2.
I mean, and Daniel Perlov is saying in the chat that he had a mouse slip in his game.
Oh, no.
Which is too bad. And, and we've seen strong players do that. We've seen Josiah Stearman do it. It even happened to me in a game I was playing. So it's kind of one of the unfortunate things in online chess, but it does happen. And it looks Ashik's got things in control now. Let's jump.
It can still get tough, and there's some problem draws with this, but yeah.
And with all
this was badly played by White.
With all the end games we've seen, check this game out between Christian Clemens.
There have been some great end games here.
Yeah, well, look at this. This is like in the same round. They look like they're on move 13.
This game, yeah, with the White having the two bishops.
Although they are on move 25, but
they're taking their time. They're taking their sweet time.
they each got 4 minutes left, and
this is like roughly
gentleman chess. Going on. Gentleman chess.
So White's trying to probe a little bit and probe for weaknesses. Queen b3 looks like a good move.
Let me jump to this game because we're getting back to Lauren Goodkind's game against Shashwath Sivakumar. This could get interesting quick because I think both players play well under pressure.
I've noticed that. Again, I want to see Black try to make some progress here in some way, and not much has been done. Yeah. Maybe bishop g3. White's probably prepared to play d5 at some point and try to blow the game open.
And for everyone
bishop g3 actually loses to queen g2.
For everyone watching, if you just joined, this is round 3 of the Tuesday night marathon. Round 4 will be tonight at 8 o'clock. And it should be some very exciting games with all the top players winning their third round. And I think they'll be playing each other in round 4. So stay tuned. We're going to have some live action Tuesday night at Mechanics.
Live from downtown San Francisco.
Downtown San Francisco.
Yeah.
We got to keep building it like a Godzilla movie or something.
Yeah.
And Lauren just took another part.
We've seen some terrific. What a blunder!
That was a blunder, yeah. Oh.
Unbelievable mistake.
That's too bad. I mean,
it's hard to understand.
She did not see the bishop. She must have not seen
that. But that whole configuration has been there for a long time. I mean,
oh, that's too bad.
It's incomprehensible. I mean, is it a mouse slip? Maybe she meant to play rook f6 or something.
Let's see.
Very sad.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too bad.
Yeah.
Too bad for Lauren. She was playing such a great game.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
We have no idea of knowing what was going on in the person's mind. Sometimes,
unfortunately,
it could have been a mouse slip.
And Ashik is about to close the show here.
Let's take a look. Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty routine.
There are some stalemate traps possible, but actually rook a1 is coming up and mate. So, yeah, White needs to take another look at his play in this game. It just kind of went off the rails a bit.
So this is the game to follow then. This will be over soon, provided nothing crazy. There it is. Congratulations to Ashik.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the game. Christian Clemens and Stuart Katz. Looks like this will be the game that's going to take us to the end of the round. And 2 minutes and change left for both players. And for those joining, this is round 3 of the marathon. When all the games are done in the round, we will enter all the results, and Chief Tournament Director Judith will pair manually. And then we'll get round 4, the pairings online. She will pair all the games on chess.com. And we're going to have some action.
I'm back. My internet connection went down a little bit here.
We can still hear you.
Okay.
Oh, but you can't see the games, right?
No, I can see it. It's resumed, I think.
Okay.
I was frozen for a bit.
So how'd your camp? You held a master camp. You did Endgame Lab last night, and then you did Kids Master Camp.
Yeah, I'm teaching the kids. They keep me on my toes. I'm trying to keep up. There are some good players there. We're doing a lot of puzzles, but the main thing we're doing is going over their games and just taking a look, seeing what they did right, seeing what they did wrong. They're into it. You know, I ask them what they want to do, and they want to look at their games, and they want to study puzzles.
And one of the cool things that Judith's doing is after the camp, she's pairing. So we have some kids, they play on chess.com.
We're having a rated tournament along with it.
Yeah, a rated tournament on chess.com, and Judith can do the pairings manually. So it's really exciting because then they use that game to practice, but they also use that game as part of the learning in the class.
Yeah, we study the next day. That's what we did.
Yeah, so really, real exciting stuff. And even Judith was commenting that our Scholastic tournament that we had last week, we're noticing the kids are getting stronger, and
hopefully they're getting some good instruction.
yeah, from somewhere, right?
From somewhere.
And Elliott converted his game, so he won.
Okay, yeah, good. And this is an interesting position. There's a lot of give and take going on here. If White can slip his bishop around to b7, after the queens are gone or something, there might be some hope to win the game. I'm not sure about this pawn to g5 move. I mean, it's to prevent white from playing pawn to f4. Maybe it was necessary. So if white plays queen a6, black could probably play queen c7. And, we have a kind of a... maybe trading.
Is black's knight stronger than the extra bishop in this position?
Right now, I mean, it's to black's advantage that the game is blocked up. White needs to find a target for these bishops. And black is holding things together very nicely here. So, on the other hand, if black is going to play for a win, which it's possible that maybe black's starting to think about doing that, maybe black could think about bringing the queen onto the long diagonal behind the bishop. So, like, if black could play queen g7 here or queen h8, then the d4 pawn is lost. So, and that's an interesting idea that just occurred to me, and maybe white will have to try to get some counterplay with queen d3 and queen a6, and that's not hard to do. White's going to go in there if given the opportunity.
And sort of one of the things to think about here, I know that Stuart Katz, they agreed to a draw.
I can see that. I've been king f1 is a good move, which protects the bishop at e2. And like I said, if black tries queen f8, queen g7, white's going to play queen d3, queen a6. And now the threat is to infiltrate at h2. And black looks like he's a little better here, Knight f4 check is even possible.
Shashwat is in the chat. He says he feels dirty. He's the one that benefited from Lauren Goodkind's blunder there. You feel dirty, but you will take the win, no doubt.
Right.
And it was good defense too. It looked like, because it looked like she was really pressing. So that's part of it. I think all the games in the rounds are over. I just posted a link in the Twitch chat. Judith is working on entering all the results, and we will have the pairings at that link. And around 8 p.m. we will start round 4, and we're going to have some fantastic matchups in round 4. So do not go anywhere, because we have fantastic night of chess. Elliott Winslow is playing. He is 3-0. So he will definitely be playing a tough opponent in round 4. And props to Charlene.
How many perfect scores do we have here?
I think we will have, let me take a look here.
All the top players, right?
Yeah, there were no upsets.
I think we're going to see.
Yeah, the 4 players we're going to have at 3-0 are Kyron Griffith, Eric Lee, Elliott Winslow, and Rui.
This is going to be a great round, folks. This is going to be maybe the best round of the tournament.
And it looks like it's going to be, in all likelihood, Kyron against Rui and Eric against Elliott.
All right, I'm going to take a quick break and be right back for this round.
You do that.
This is amazing round coming up.
And while he takes a break, we will have round 4 paired up soon, and the games will start at approximately 8 o'clock. The 4 top players all won their games, so we're going to have some fantastic matchups on the top 2 boards, and we're going to have fantastic matchups on the boards going down too, as a lot of strong players also won their 3rd round. Players like Sivakumar and Simona Neighbor won her round, and a lot of chess action. And for everyone watching, we're having good numbers watching. Thank you for joining us at the Mechanics Institute Tuesday Night Marathon. All the players, by participating in this tournament, you're entering a chess tournament with a prize fund that's rated, and thank you for doing that. But for us, more importantly, it really helps support the Mechanics Institute and what we're doing. So thank you for that, and thank you for hanging out with us on Tuesday night. So the next round will start at about 8 o'clock, and another update just from our chess.com Clubs League. So the Mechanics Institute does participate in the chess.com Clubs League. Games are usually on Saturday morning. It's sort of like a FIFA World Cup for club teams. It's club teams from all over the world. In the A division, which we are a part of, there are 61 teams, and we are currently ranked 13th out of the 61 going into the final round this Saturday. And we're playing a club team from Argentina in the final round. So I think if we win that match, we will finish in the top 10, which will be quite an achievement because there are some pretty strong clubs out there playing. So look for that. We will notify everyone how to follow and watch that. There's a chance we may even stream that because it's the final round and it's such a big match for us. So we may stream the final round. That would be in all likelihood Saturday morning at 10 a.m., although we're still trying to work out the exact time. But if they agree to it, most of our matches have been 10 a.m. Saturday. We will look to stream it. I'm almost certain Judith got Elliott's result. So Elliott, Judith has taken care of you. I have no doubt. So you're good. I was just talking about the Chess.com Clubs League. And the one thing I was talking about is earlier when I was doing surgery on the chessboard before we came out was we were talking to Kamada Chess. And
I don't know who they are.
Yeah, they're new. They're an organization. The people that started they live in Nicaragua. They're of Cuban descent, though, live in Nicaragua. And they're doing a lot of promotion to the Latin American community. So they've been streaming events in Spanish. And, they got a magazine out that the magazine looks like top quality, like well published. And they're just trying to promote chess to the Latin American community. And so we talked to them about doing some kind of a partnership, maybe doing an event. So we're sort of in the talks right now about doing an all masters event, like for the Americas. So it'll be like an America's Cup type of event.
Oh, what a great idea!
All titled players from North America, Latin America, and doing an event like that in August. So we're looking to organize something like that. We're still in discussions of what it will be. A blitz tournament, it looks like. So all the details are still coming. We're still talking about it, but we think that would be.
Would it be a what do they call it? Pacific Rim tournament? With
what would that encompass? I mean,
California.
Like when we were talking, like it's the Americas, right? North and South America. So yeah, whatever the official nomenclature, we'll figure that out.
Right. Yeah.
But the intent is to really organize title players from the Latin American countries to with players from North America, and it's sort of in support. So they would do their own stream in Spanish of that event, and then Mechanics, we would do our stream in English, and then get the word out and promote it and do that. So. Look for that in August. We're looking to organize that and do all that. So, the time control is called out on the incorrect time. The time control was incorrect. I had mentioned G35 plus 2. Am I wrong on that?
No, it says game in 5 plus 2.
Oh,
but it's actually
on the I got the. Oh, I see. Here, let me switch. Let me do some jujitsu here.
Lex Twitch 2 wants a title.
He wants a title. Like, what kind of title?
Yeah, it says, I need a title quickly. We need the shops to open up so I can get one.
Here, while we're on break, I am rectifying that situation.
Wow, the Charles Bagby Library. I wonder what that is, actually. Is that, wonder what the Charles Bagby Library, was it his personal chess library?
It's like personal collection.
Yeah, of his personal collection. I'm sure he had a chess book collection.
All right, I think.
So, what titles do you have of from the Charles Bagby collection? Elliott's giving away his title. Actually, Elliott, you should sell your title.
That is bitter. I'm sure sometimes he has games where he feels like he's selling it or giving it away. But lately, he's been playing like that's not the right title. Like, he should have a higher title because he's been playing absolutely out of his mind.
Yeah, Elliott's undergoing a chess renaissance.
All right, let's see. Okay.
Yeah. Elliott, we want your title. We want your title.
Actually, here, let me fix one more thing. I got a little bear there, so let me fix that here.
Paul and Abel have disappeared from the window as well.
Yeah, we have. There we go. We're back.
Oh, good.
There we go. All right, 6 rounds, game in 35 plus 2. This is the
Hi,
Tuesday night marathon.
Thank you, Mansour. Love back to you as well.
Fantastic.
And we're, oh, did I disappear again? Did you disappear again?
No, you should be on there.
Okay. I just saw myself disappear from Twitch. And you. Oh, now we're back.
Yeah, we're back. You got a little lag going on there.
Yeah, I think I do.
So for those joining, the next round should start in about 8 minutes, around there. This will be round 4 of the Tuesday night marathon, and we're going to have some monster games on the top 2 boards, at least. But I think we're going to have monster games up and down, all the way around, because a lot of strong players are with 2 out of 3. And
yeah, do we have the pairings yet?
No. So right now, Judith's got to enter the pairings into the computer. It'll generate the pairings, and then she has to manually pair each game on chess.com. And as soon as the pairings are up on the main page, so you can, anyone that's following Twitch, I'm going to enter the link. Click that link there, and you'll be able to follow the results. And then when the pairings are up, you'll see them there. I'm checking the site now, and things are still getting processed. So all this stuff takes time. It's doing it on our own.
As a chess master, I feel entitled to eat some fish. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got some goldfish here.
Oh, yeah, those are the best kind of fish. I'm not usually a fish eater, but goldfish, I could eat that nonstop. Unfortunately for me. So it's kind of nice having like a little break in between rounds.
Yeah. Go get yourself a snack, Abel.
Get a snack. Yeah, maybe I should do that, right? Yeah, I might do that real quick. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Go ahead. I'm lagging about at least 15 seconds behind here. I'm going to check the pairings and see if they're up yet. I don't think they're up yet. Not yet. Coming up is round 4 of the Tuesday night marathon, a tournament that was started first in 1972 at the Mechanics Institute, started by club director at the time, Raymond Conway, during the Fisher boom. And I joined the club late in the year and played in the second Tuesday night marathon along with my brother Jay. One of our first ever tournaments was the Tuesday night tournament. Back in those days, it was a real marathon, 12 rounds of chess. It's a tournament that I don't think I ever won it. I played, even recently, I've played in some. It was a little bit off the radar for me one night a week at the club on a Tuesday night. Traditionally, that was the format.
All right.
And Elliott's saying I have an echo.
You got an echo going on over there?
Yeah, but I'm not sure what to do about it. Maybe the echo is in Elliott's head.
Let's see here.
And now somebody said that turn down the reverb. Yeah.
Yeah, you got any background noise going on over there?
I don't have reverb control. And we're getting all kinds of technical advice.
Oh, because when I had put my earphones down when I left, I probably the fan on my computer was probably reverberating. Yeah.
Interesting.
Is it a little better now? So Martin Camacho. Is it a little better now that I have the earbuds back on? Pairings are, I think they're still being worked on. Let me check.
More cowbell.
More cowbell. As Christopher Walken on Saturday Night Live. Not yet. They're being worked on at the moment. And when they are up, we will let everyone know. Yeah, what happened to Saturday Night Live? This will be like a little event. So I don't know who's out there, the Saturday Night Live fans, but for the last 3 years or so, that show has been terrible, absolutely terrible. Now there have been some good performances by some people, but oh my goodness, Saturday Night Live is not what it used to be at all.
I don't think we're living in very humorous times.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, though. I mean, some of those skits were.
I mean, people are watching slasher movies to have a good laugh now.
And Elliott's saying, well, since Belushi died, that was it. I mean, even after that, I mean, when Will Ferrell was there, I mean, he was fantastic. He had some great skills. I mean, there was a lot of good people. Just the last few years have just been like awful, just awful. But that's just me. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I mean, Saturday Night Live is, I mean, kind of lost its mojo. Anyway, that's just me.
Okay,
all right.
I'm going to look at the pairings myself.
So the pairings, and for those who can't access that part, I'll just read them off.
What a great rounds we have.
And I called it. Board 1, Kyron Griffith against Rui, Elliott Winslow against Eric. But then we have Michael Lum against Pranav Sairam. Austin Mai against Simona Neighbor is a fantastic matchup. Javier Silva against Shashwat Sivakumar. We got fantastic games this round. Really looking forward to this. Michael Walter against Cesar Tamandong.
I thought Clemens drew his last game. He says he's 2-0.
Well, it's 3 games, so he had 2 draws and a win.
Oh, I see. Okay. Gotcha.
Christian Clemens against Rudolph Breet. So we got great games. And then in the under 1600, Pranav Pradeep will take on Charlene Kwok. Daniel Perlov against Shankara Mohan. And then on down the line, Leora Ginsburg against Martin Camacho.
And Elliott's saying, oh, well, he has white against Eric. I don't think he was expecting.
Well, good for him. So the pairings are up, and we have fantastic matchups. And let me go into what I need to go into. And then as soon as I see the games paired, I will pull them up. So now that the pairings are up, now Judith has to manually pair on chess.com. So we will be focusing on the top two boards, obviously, but we have plenty of other games that look exciting to follow. So another game that looks interesting to me, just a battle of some talented kids, Tejas Mahesh on board 7 against Satvik Krishnan. That'll be a good match.
My internet went out and now it's back. So I'm reloading the Twitch.
Got some spotty net going on over there.
Yeah, I'm having some spotty internet here.
Spotty net. Hola.
It said there was a network error.
I see. Let me refresh myself also, because although I had there we go.
I'm really looking forward to this round.
Yeah, this will be a big round with some strong games. If anyone's watching, if you're currently idle and you're playing in the tournament, get yourself out of idle and get into live chess, because you cannot be paired if you are idle. So if you're watching, make sure you are in play live chess mode, so that we can start your games. Round should be starting soon. It is 8 o'clock.
Excellent.
The pairings are up. I'll just put the link for those that don't have it already. The link I put here, you can follow the matchups in round 4, the standings from the previous round. The top two boards will be fantastic to watch.
Absolutely. We've got to spend a lot of time on these games.
Chiron Griffith against Rui Yang Yan, and Elliott Winslow against Eric. So is that Ashik? Nice to have you back.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, when the pairings are done in this way, in this manner, it feels like the Tuesday night marathon.
It really does.
And it just has a different feel to it, so it's really nice to have this going. All right, some of the games are paired, so as I find them, I'll pull it up. And we have Elliott Winslow against Eric Lee right off the bat.
On board 2.
Board 2. And I'll just pull up the other games just to have them ready. Whoops.
Okay. Elliott with his ambidextrous openings. E4, G4. We're getting a Roy Lopez.
And there's Chiron and...
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, as I pull up games, I might be switching to games, but I'm just pulling them up to pull them up.
Okay, we have a Nadorf on board 1. Which is interesting because Chiron himself is a Nadorf expert.
And as I pull these games...
Looking forward to this game.
As I'm pulling all this stuff up, it'll give you a glimpse of the games to come.
Chess at the Mechanics.
Chess at the Mechanics. And
while you were gone, I was talking a little bit about the history of the Mechanics chess, the Tuesday night marathon.
Oh yeah, the Ray Conway
starting during the Fisher era and all that. We haven't even counted. I mean, it's probably impossible to count how many there have been. It would be interesting. There have been at least 4 a year, 5 a year for so many years now. It's hard to know.
And it's funny, we don't have
John would have kept the first permanent record of it, although there might be some before that.
And he didn't
John Donaldson.
In an earlier newsletter, he didn't write about.
Probably has. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he has. And I'm sure that there's some research down in the library and some documentation.
All right. Let's jump to the top board. Kyron Griffith and Rui Yang Yan. So Kaylin, something happened with this game. I'm sure Judith's all over it right now. So she'll take care of you.
Okay, so Kyron has played, actually, can we go back to the opening?
Sure.
Just play back through the opening really quickly.
So here we go.
And on board one.
And Rui playing her Sicilian. She likes to play.
Nodorf, right? Okay, yeah, okay.
Knight e2.
Bishop d3 is quite an unusual move. Probably not going to give black too much problems. Knight e2. White tries all kinds of different things against Nodorf, and Kyron's is playing a kind of one of the many ways that white can sort of play in these situations. Maybe he's had a look at this and is hoping to take Roy out of her home preparation.
Especially since this is her opening, right?
And it's his opening too with black. Also. So it's interesting. Yeah, they're both Nodorf experts.
And they're playing it relatively quick, so they must have some familiarity. Let me jump to Elliott Winslow against Eric Lee on board 2.
Okay. Yeah, interesting game on board 1 there.
Is the idea so Bishop e3 or something?
Elliott's played, I guess this is a Berlin defense where white has just taken on c6 and played pawn d3.
Yep.
And now is playing, very solidly. White is playing a very super duper solid approach here. And black is going to play a standard idea here with it, which is knight d7, knight c5, knight e6, f6, and knight d4, and all this kind of stuff. That's the kind of the generally accepted way to play this kind of thing for black. Black usually does well out of this opening, in this kind of structure. It's very subtle, a lot of subtle problems in this kind of positions.
All right. And
how about board 3?
Yeah, it's exactly what I was going to say. I was just going to pull up who is board 3. That's Michael Lum and Pranav Sairam. So I got to find them.
I'll have a goldfish.
There it is. So that is Michael Lum. Whoops, I didn't pull it up. Why not? There it is. There it is. This is board 3. Michael Lum is white and Pranav Sairam is black. They're both about 2,000 rated USCF.
And these players have what, 2.5? 3?
Yeah, both players 2.5. No, Michael Lum has 2.5, but Pranav Sairam has 2. Actually, Michael Lum is the only player with 2.5.
How about that?
Yeah, actually, that's surprising in a field of nearly 50.
Yeah. Well, we have a sort of a standard Queen's Gambit-ish style position here. I don't understand these positions that well,
Let's take a look
at board. Solid for black.
Board 4, Austin Mai against Simona Neiberg. Austin Mai is white, Titan Chess 666, and Simona is Roboro 13.
Okay. Interesting position here.
It's a position.
It looks like it was maybe a double king pawn opening, and like a Vienna game or something like that.
And here's a match. What happened here? Here's a match I was really interested in. I'm gonna have to find out what happened. This is Javier Silva is white against Shashwat Sivakumar, but
let's go back to this Titan chess game afterwards, because I think I see a good move for black there.
So let me take a look at this. So
white sacrificed a pawn and played e6. That's a very common idea.
Okay.
But you're definitely going back. Yeah.
There.
Standard opening, Alapin, Sicilian, or Sveshnikov plays this.
That's right.
White.
Alapin, that's right. There.
This is, I'm sure, all book.
E6 even?
Let's see, what does white play here?
We see E6.
And E6 is a common idea, but I'm not sure that white should have given up the bishop like that. But with the idea of playing E6, it's interesting.
So he took.
E6 is a classic move to kind of gum up black's game. I like it. Especially combined with bishop takes c6, it seems to be the right idea.
And this is where we're at here, live. So
yeah,
interesting game.
Yeah, sharp.
Some sharpness.
Now you have 7. Whoa! Oh, I see. White's got queen e5 check. If g6, queen e5 check.
Yeah.
It looks like black is maybe in a little bit of trouble here.
So it looked like the king was getting tucked away nicely, but there's still a bunch of threats lurking around in there.
Rook g8. Rook g8. The position is dangerous. I mean, if rook g8, queen e5 check, king d7, knight g5, and there's no way to protect the pawn at e6. Is that right? Or is black to play queen g6? Rook g8, queen e5, king g7, knight g5, queen g6. So black is still kind of hanging in there.
All right, let me check out top board, see how that's developed. Kyron Griffith and Rui Yang Yan.
Okay, so white's played knight d5, and black's taken it with one of his knights. And now we have a sort of a familiar structure here and a familiar kind of struggle here. White's trying to get a little aggressive on the king side. Black has a nice c5 square. Black also, has knight c5 and pawn to e4 maybe. Black wants to get the bishop on the f6, on the h8, a1 diagonal, and maybe could start out with bishop f6, and if knight g3, g6, but then comes f5, and white utilizes the e4 square. So that's not actually such a great idea here. Black needs to kind of find a way to make her forces work here. Most effectively.
And one of the nice things about
yeah.
No, I was just gonna say one of the with this game 35 +2 time control, there's a lot of time for the chess to develop, to find your plan, execute it. All right, let's go to board 2.
Yeah, interesting position.
Pekin Elliott Winslow against FIDE master Eric Lee.
2 title players.
And what's great about this game is not just the strength of these 2 players, but I mean these are 2 players that technically solid, like they just real technical executioners, and
right.
It'll be fun to watch when 2 players like that play.
Black's very solid here. I mean, at some point, white needs to castle, and white's sort of hedging his bets. It's a complicated game. Yeah.
So
maybe white's going to play pawn to g4, and then knight f5 or something.
Let me jump
White's still keeping the pawn and the king in the center.
So this is the top board in the under 1600 section. Charlene Kwok, who's I am Charlene. She's 3-0. She's the only 3-0 player in that section. Playing Pranav Pradeep, who is white. So how does this look?
I'm seeing that white bishop being nicely kind of imprisoned there. Black so far is doing okay here, and playing very natural moves too, like b4. That just threatens to take on a3, and white's got some problems here. If takes on b4, bishop b4 hits the rook on e1. White's had enough, and okay, so this is a good move. I like this move, very positive.
Let's take a peek at that slightly wild game that was going on between Javier Silva and Shashwat Sivakumar. The king has been dancing around a little bit.
Goko is playing. Oh yeah, look at this. Okay, so black played knight f6. Oh, I'm not sure exactly the how this happened.
So it was here.
A couple knight f7. White plays f5.
There.
Black played knight d7. Okay, yeah. So knight f7. Yeah, keep going. I mean forward. Keep going forward. Yeah. Knight check, knight f7. Black didn't play rook g8, played knight d7, covering the e5 square. And white's in for a penny, in for a pound here. Plays f5, check. And now white seems to be in trouble.
In trouble, yeah?
Yeah, this was knight f7 was met by this really nice knight d7 move.
Yeah.
And covered the e5 square. And J3 chess 24's game just kind of fell apart.
Yeah, because you cannot do knight d6 check. That doesn't do anything.
No. White's losing a piece.
Yeah, got caught a little bit there.
Let's take one quick look though. Queen e2, queen f7, queen e5 threatens queen c7 mate.
Yeah.
And forces knight to e8. Absolutely forces knight to e8. But knight to e8 kind of covers everything. White can play pawn takes e6.
Yeah. Now, yeah.
But then queen f6.
And
it looks like
rook c1 and then looking to play knight a4, but maybe that'll take too much time.
And that's the kind of thing you have to do here.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on this game.
White's playing for tricks.
Let's jump to take a look at board one here. And Rui did play bishop f6 like you thought she should do.
If f takes e6, knight takes h5. Eric. We're joined by Erikido23 again.
All right, welcome back.
Okay, so white's going to try to maybe put the knight to e4, knight to h5, start out with knight g3, as I'm assuming. And black's going to be okay if she can play g6, bishop g7, and then pawn f5 or something. But white's not going to let that happen. It looks like white should start out with knight g3 probably. If white plays f5 here, that's also a possibility, but it's kind of putting your chickens all in one basket or something, or whatever the expression is. Black will play knight d5. Also possible is bishop g5, trying to trade off that dark squared bishop. Maybe, actually, if f5, bishop g5. And that's going to solve a lot of black's problems. Maybe white should start out with knight g3 first, and sort of wait to see what black does. Tough little game here.
Oh, interesting.
Tough little game here. Complicated. Both players are probably playing to win, knowing these two, I'm sure.
Let me switch to Eric's game.
Yeah, this board one is shaping up to be an interesting fight. Board two. So we're still here. Black is gaining space on the queen side. I think white should seriously consider playing g4 here, and then trying to play g5 or knight f5 or something like that. It's a little dangerous for white to be thinking of castling on the queen side.
Wow!
And even castling on the king. Even castling on the king side could be dangerous at some point if black plays g5.
It's like Elliott getting aggressive.
H5. Yeah, g4, the natural. I think it's a kind of a natural move there. And white's leaving his king in the center. Probably he's going to castle on the king side. Also, it's possibly he might castle by hand with king f1 and king g2.
Let me jump to this game real quick.
As Erica says as well.
Just jumping real quick to Austin Mai and Simona Neiberg here.
Okay.
It's a little interesting.
Okay, so black wants a king and pawn ending. And then there's the passed a pawn at the a pawn, the outside passed pawn.
And this is the interesting thing in how you see this. I mean, you're looking at this position and you're saying, if I got rid of all the pieces except the king and the pawns, I'm better if I'm black, right?
Well, I mean, chess has that kind of, you can employ that kind of thinking. In a broad sense, you can.
Yeah.
So on the other hand, there's all this little specific things that are going on. I mean, white has a more compact structure, pressure on the G2 diagonal. There's other things that, black's pawns are split on the queen side, so they're vulnerable to being attacked. Moves like bishop f4. So a chess player sort of goes from the a chess master's mind might sort of go from the very broad and then sort of starts to get a little bit more specific as you go along, and if that makes any sense.
Let's check this position between Ashik Uzman and Roger Shi. Oh, it looks like he is up some pawns. Looks like he's doing all right.
White's won 2 pawns here.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Straight up.
Straight up. I mean, this black has gone wrong here. And then I don't see anything here. White could even play a move like pawn to b4 here, and just start getting those puppies rolling. Right?
Let's do a check-in on the under 1600 section. I am Charlene, looking to stay perfect. She is black right now, but looks like Pranav is Oh.
Now, this is an interesting position.
Oh. What do you think of that?
I think that knight f3 in check is a threat. I mean, black is probably winning now with that outside pass pawn, tying the rook down and everything. She's also up a pawn. King g2 is met by queen f6, probably. f4, then knight g6. That's pretty bad for white.
Knight g6.
Just kind of roll. Yeah, queen f6 is very strong here, and it's an obvious move. f4, knight g6.
Yeah, she played that pretty quick.
Yeah, f4, knight g6.
And Javier Silva is still in the think tank from that position earlier here.
What position is that?
That's this one coming up for you. So he did play. Let me go back a few moves. So you'll see that shortly. Check, king c8. You'll see it soon. Wow. Huh. That was an interesting.
Knight a4 was played.
Yeah.
Bishop a4, rook c1, bishop c6. What exactly was that all about? I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Queen e2, queen f7, queen e5 is still met by knight e8. White just seems to have pitched a piece there, and now there's another one being lost. I mean, knight a4 was kind of a funny move. Black hoping for knight takes h5, knight b6 mate. That would have been really pretty, but you know, that's not going to happen in the real world.
Or yeah, this
It's
is
just the rook has appeared on c1, however, but
it doesn't. It's not really a threat.
I think white
yet.
just blew it. White just blew it.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to and see if anything does develop there. But let's go to board one here. We have FIDE Master Kyron Griffith against National Master Rui Yang Yan.
And that was an interesting game. Okay, so white played knight g3. Black took on f4. White played bishop f4. Now bishop e5. A very solid. You know, there's some storm clouds gathering against the black king possibly, but
because the bishops are pointed that way.
Yeah, and there's the knight over there, and the queen can come out to h5, but white has to make it work. And you know, maybe we could start out with, all right, let's try to make it work. Bishop h7, king h7, queen h5, king g8, knight f5, maybe.
Yeah, that bishop looks a little trapped in there on b7 at the moment.
Yeah, while strike while the iron is hot. So after knight f5, white has some nebulous threats. Maybe queen g5, check, king takes, queen check, king g8, knight f5. Something tells me black should be okay there, but
now let's take a peek into Elliott Winslow and Eric Lee.
yeah, Arakito, you're right. Rook c1 first, but then knight takes h5. I mean, in that other game, the white queen was actually hanging on h5 to the black knight. So, okay, so here we go. Opposite side castling. There's a pawn hanging at a2. Everybody, in case anybody's interested. And Elliott's turning on the heat. And so is Eric with c5. So this is, you know.
They're both going after each other. This should be interesting.
Yeah. Well, White's got one file to attack down, but he's got moves like knight f5, and you know, this is a tough little game developing here. I'm liking. I think I'm liking White's chances. You know, with knight f5 coming up, Black's not going to be able to tolerate that. He's going to have to take with the bishop, and then if White can take with the e pawn and play queen e4, you know, I'm starting to think that White has a game here. So if I'm White, I maybe want to start with taking on g5, or maybe playing knight f5 right away. I mean, okay, knight f5, bishop f5, e takes f5. Black might regret playing pawn to c5, especially if a white piece turns up on e4 with queen e4. If Black plays pawn e4 there, White can maybe just take it. You know, White will just take it, and then the pawn at b5 is hanging. I'm liking White just playing knight f5 straight off the bat here.
Just get that knight in there.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Black will play bishop f8, you know.
So Peter Swindler is saying you take on a2, you go to b3, trapping it, then what?
Well, then maybe bishop a3 check or pawn a4. I mean, Black is, you know, it sort of helps Black. You know, it's true that sometimes you can trap the bishop, but you know, if I'm White, I just want to kind of ignore that, I think, here, and maybe I would try to attack on the king side.
Let's take a quick peek at Austin Mai against Simona Neiberg. It looks like some pieces.
I'm liking Elliott's game here.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one to follow because they're both looking to attack each other on opposite sides.
All right, this is really boiled down to sort of essential things here.
It's almost getting like you said, where all the pieces are going to get traded off, and then Black's got the better endgame.
Well, maybe that's another question too. Even in a king and pawn ending, if the white king is at a6 and the black king is at b8 or something, you know, that could be a tough little endgame for Black, even with that passed pawn. So what do I want to do if I'm Black here is maybe play bishop to d5 and kind of nullify the power of the two bishops. And then maybe I can play on the weak light squares that White has, you know, on f3 and h3. Maybe my knight could come dance into d4 and to f3 or something. I think starting with bishop d5 might be a good idea for Black here. It also paves the way for the a pawn. Black plays knight d4 first, and then it's true that the knight is going to be very well placed on e6 as well. And still there's a possibility of playing bishop d5. Rook e7 though, I mean, there's, you know, Black is also threatening rook b1, which could have been played on the last move, although it would have been met by queen d2. So
let me do a peek at the top
tough little game here.
Top under 1600 game.
Yeah, I think Elliott is better in that game. That's a tough. I think Black has maybe misplayed that.
And I think what happened here?
I think this game is over here with White losing.
Look at that.
His queen with check.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's a nice move. It wins the queen with check.
Yeah. What a nice move that was. That's a nice little tactic right there.
Yeah, queen e1 is a desperate try. Yeah. Actually, White should have played rook e4. Go back one move.
Here.
No, this is hopeless. But before, White should have played rook e4.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
Instead of queen e1.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rook E4.
instead of the queen to E1 move.
So Charlene is 4-0.
Rook E4 was the right move there. It would have lost a pawn, but it would given a chance. That was a pretty smooth victory by black there.
Nice. Made an early,
sure.
quick work. Back to our board one with Kyron and Rui. Now it's looking like white starting to load up on that king side, possibly.
Okay, black, the dark squared bishops have come off, which is in black's favor, definitely, because the knight, black's, this is a tough little game. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's some pawn weaknesses. Black has the bishop, somewhat of the better bishop, because the white bishop is hemmed in by it. But white has the possibility of playing pawn to c5 and getting a passed pawn later on. These positions usually are good for black, but it can be very tricky. And I get the feeling that black has sort of gotten what she wants, and with the exchange of dark squared bishops. And definitely white is not going to be able to have a successful kingside attack, I don't think, now.
Let's take a look just real quick. I'm curious how this turned out with Javier Silva.
Wait a minute. I'd like to see this one more time, though. Wait a minute.
Which was the Kyron's?
The Kyron game, yeah.
All right.
Because I have a thought here.
Yep.
Look at this. Yeah. So white can play knight f6 check here. And then bishop h7 check. I think white's trying to make something like that work. Knight f6 check, g takes f6, and
Bishop
then maybe
takes.
bishop h7 check. And trying to
King
maybe...
King h8.
That would be possible, but more likely black's going to take. If king h8, queen h5. So black's probably going to take. So knight f6 check, g f6, bishop h7 check, king h7, queen h5 check, king g7, and then white needs to get a rook over. Kyron's trying to make this work
And
here.
he did it.
He did it. Okay, so maybe there is a win for white. Let's stay on this for a second.
Yeah, he was clearly trying to calculate this out.
All right, so I think black has to take with the pawn. I mean, unless there's a forced mate here, and she has to take with the queen. Let's try to work it out. G takes f6. Maybe queen h5. Knight d3, rook h4, rook e8. That doesn't work. Oh, it does work. Rook check, king h8, rook back to h4. G takes f6, bishop h7 check. Maybe king g7 after bishop h7 check. Yeah, this is an interesting moment here.
We will get back to this game.
Let's come back to it. Yeah,
But let me take a peek at.
Figured it out completely. Yeah.
This is Elliott and Eric Lee on board 2.
A great fighting game on board 1. There's no doubt about it. We're all getting our money's worth.
Yeah.
Okay, so Elliott's taken on g5 and then played knight f5, and I think wisely black has not taken it because of white will take with the e-pawn and then utilize it. So now what happens if white just starts doubling, with extreme prejudice on the H file? And that's got to be what Elliott, there's not very many plans open for white here. Sometimes these things just, maybe white wants to play king b1 first, and defend the a2 pawn. I'm not sure.
And just want to give a quick
little game.
Give a quick little shout out to Judith, who is up late into the night in Hungary, pairing these games, doing the standings, updating everything.
I think I'm getting frozen again. My internet is.
Uh-oh. I think we lost Paul there. You back? I think.
Hopefully Paul will be coming back.
Well, you are back, but you're frozen. Oh, you're good. I think you're good.
Yeah, it says I'm getting a message. Your connection is unstable.
Your internet connection, or yourself
is
telling
is unstable.
You're back. You're back on. And actually, Golko fans saying you didn't freeze, but everything looks good. You're normal.
Okay.
Let's see if anything developed.
I'll never be normal.
Good. Better that way. Rui is still thinking on this move after knight f6 check. So
yeah, and I have to figure out, interestingly enough, the volume on my Twitch needs to be muted. There we go.
That's
funny things are happening on the home computer, folks.
So Felix is in the chat saying he didn't get paired. We will take a look into that. And I'm wondering if he didn't get paired because your opponent wasn't online.
That's an interesting phenomenon.
Against Ryan Tiong. So we'll take a look at that. We'll see what happened. So Felix, if you're watching, we'll take a look at see what happened. You may not have been paired for a reason. So just hang tight, and we will get back to you on the reason for that.
So we're still on. I'm still seeing board one, Kyron Griffith versus Rui.
Yes.
What about board two?
And it looks like Rui took. Right.
Okay.
So let's see. But let's jump to board two.
I think she has to take.
Oh, I mean, Queen H5 was played.
Queen H5 was played, and now if Knight D3, I'm guessing. So Queen H5, Knight D3, Rook G4 check, King into the corner, Rook H4, wins on the spot.
And just real
so black cannot take on D3 here.
Just real quick, let me jump to Elliott's game.
As Karen found it, Knight G6 is met by Rook H4 with a virulent attack. Knight G6, Rook H4, black has to play Rook E8, because if Knight H4, you're mated. Rook E8. Kyron crashes through here, it looks like. Oh, we're back on Elliott's game, and he's done what I suggested, which was doubling of the rooks. This looks good for white.
So now Eric has taken that knight on f5.
Yeah, I think that knight was going to be a powerful thorn in black's side. So Elliott is going to take, I mean, ideally he'd like to take with the e pawn and then utilize the e4 square for a knight or something, or the queen. But if is black going to play pawn e4?
We gotta look at this position here. This was from the game we were looking at earlier. So this was the game where we were a little perplexed that Javier gave up the knight to open up the c file, and then it proceeded like this. So black is up significant material here, and then it played out.
I'm still not seeing the game yet, but
It'll come up.
The Paul lag here with this unstable internet connection.
Yeah, actually, and what looked interesting turned out not so much.
All right, so white played queen back to d1, and now is down 2 pieces. Let's just play through. Let's see what happened. Queen a4, I guess. Oh, queen b3. Huh. Queen b6. Okay. Check. Check. This can't be good.
Yeah. And actually, Singh missed me somewhere.
Was there a miss? Oh, queen c7. Oh, no, that's not Nate. That's it. Queen's coming off.
No, he was in check. Let's see. Check.
Yeah. White is in check and can't play queen c7 mate.
There's no mate there. Yeah.
Maybe black missed a mate. Anyway, let's go back to board 1 and that incredibly exciting game.
There we go.
Yeah.
And Akko Hidari and Ashik Uzman did win their games. And so here we are. So Rui plays rook e8, trying to clear a path so the king can run away. Oh, let me get rid of that. So Rui is up a piece right now. And Christian Clemens won his game against Rudolf Breed.
So if queen h6, black must play either f5 or, oh, there's another tournament that's over. So queen h6. It's not over yet here. Queen h6, rook h4. And if not h4, of course, you get mated. So what happens on queen h6? Queen h7 check and double rooks, says Michael Walder. I like that idea. Or maybe even bishop g7, bishop h7 and double rooks. It's possible to play this kind of slowly. Yeah, if queen h6, knight g6, but then rook h4, and then maybe rook e5, and if, queen h7, king f8, that's not working, I don't think, although bishop g6. No, knight can't take on h4 because of bishop h7 check and the usual mate.
All right, let me jump real quick to Eric Lee's game again.
Yeah, f5 is possible too for black. White's got a strong attack though by playing in a slow manner, like Goodkind says, I think. Tough little game here. So we're going to board 2.
Port 2. So Eric is curling up in a little ball of defense here, looking to put a stop, withstand this, and then launch something of his own.
So Elliott took back with the G pawn, and that was a big decision. And I wasn't there, so I can't speak for him. But taking with the E pawn would have been more desirable, I think, unless Black had something like pawn to E4.
Let me go to this because we have a move played here. Bishop takes H7 check, and you'll see that shortly. And then King F8.
Now this is tough. Now it's tough for Elliott to get in. He needs to put the knight on G4, maybe. But even then, what I'm also seeing is a possible endgame advantage for White too, with a long term, if White can fix the black pawns on the queen side.
You may want to try refreshing your Twitch because you're like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know. All right, I'm going to refresh my Twitch.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yep.
I think that worked.
So we're watching Chiron and Rui right now.
Bishop H7 check was played.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, I think we're doing better. Good suggestion.
And so the king is looking. Hey, we have Judith joining us.
Hi guys.
Hey, how's it going?
So Queen H6, King E7, Queen F6, King D7, and the black king runs away to the queen side.
And does she get away with being up a little bit of material, or?
Black has that beautiful knight still at E5, and White is only going to have, two pawns for a piece, but needs to find some way to continue the attack.
There we go.
If I'm White, I think I want to play maybe Bishop F5, some radical way of preventing the king over. So maybe Queen H6, check, King E7, and then Bishop F5, but then Rook HA. If I play Bishop F5 right away, Black plays King E7, and White can't get to the F6 square.
So Judith, how's the chief TDing been for you?
Interesting idea for White to play C5 first. Hi, Judith.
Hi guys. How's it going? How's the games? How are the games?
Yeah, there's a lot of action on the top two boards with Chiron and Rui and Elliott and Eric.
Great idea here that Goko fan is coming up with, which is to take Queen H6, King E7, and then Rook F6.
Yeah.
But then maybe Knight G4, forking the Queen and Rook, but then Rook E6 check, and if F E6, Queen E6, King F8, Rook F1 check. There's all kinds of crazy stuff happening here, folks.
And they got 7 minutes to calculate it all, at least from. Let's peek at Elliott Winslow and Eric Lee.
This is a tough little attack here.
And Eric plays Rook
Interesting
A6.
game. Great game for board one. Just classic. So Black's providing. My internet is kind of going into zombie mode again.
If you're still live, you're good.
So here's Black's problem too, is some of these endgames are terrible for Black, with all those pawns fixed on Black squares.
And with the black square
that
bishop.
can be and with the Black square bishop. So the canny veteran Elliott he knows that, and most endgames look very strong for white too. It's the thing that black didn't do in this game was play his knight to d4.
So let me quickly go back to Chiron's game, because there's been some moves.
Absolutely.
It looks like what was suggested was played.
How about that? Probably wasn't suggested by me. Oh yeah, he took with the rook. Yeah, so now the black's king can't escape out to d7 because of rook d6 check. This is looking very scary.
Can you play knight c5?
Knight c4, knight takes c4?
Or c4, yeah.
Well, that does allow the other white rook to come in.
Yeah.
Actually, it would lose right away to rook f7 check, I think. King f7, rook f1 check, king e7, and then
because you
queen
got the bishop
e6
there.
mate.
Yeah, you got the bishop
Queen
there.
e6 is
Yeah.
mate. So black can't play knight c4. But maybe rook h8. Although that runs into rook e6 check again. Rook e6 check is white's little ace in the hole here.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a very, very strong threat.
Just traps
right
the
now.
king right there.
But so maybe black should play bishop c8.
But the knight protects, right? I mean, at least for now. If you go rook e6.
I take. But if you
And then what?
go
Queen g7 or?
No, queen e6 check. Rook e6, f e6, queen e6 check, king f8, and then rook f1 check.
That's right, because the pawn's cleared out.
This devastating threat white has in his position. So, and black can't move her knight because of rook f7 check. So maybe bishop c8 is the move here. And then maybe Chiron has pawn to c5.
Wow, there's a lot going on right here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Or rook e1, as suggested by
Golko fan Michael Walder.
Michael Walder, the master of attack himself, is suggesting bishop c8, rook e1, and that does look very strong with all kinds of threats.
Let me do a quick peek.
I think this is a tremendous attacking game by Chiron so far. This is going to be one of his top games if he pulls this out. Long, brilliant attack here.
So here's Elliott trying to find a way to deliver the final blow.
So black played a4, and now Elliott's playing f3. Simple idea to bring the bishop back to f2 and maybe start probing some weaknesses that black has over there.
So Eric has gone king f7. Is Eric looking to move the rook away from e8 and kind of bring the king back, or?
I'm not sure what king f7 is about. I mean, what does it do? I think black is just in trouble here, I think.
You think he might be wanting to go rook b8 and then king e8?
Maybe. If bishop f2, knight d7, I suppose, and then rook can pin the bishop. I mean, Elliott's the one with the chances here. Certainly, black has chosen the wrong formation of pieces and is in trouble.
He is defending. Let's peek back into Kyron's game here, and she's still thinking, still trying to figure out what to do here.
Yeah, these are some tough games. Rook c6 is a good move. Not giving an inch. Rook e6 is an absolutely devastating threat. Black, maybe queen d7, and then if rook e6,
if you go queen d7,
then pawn takes, but then queen g5 check. It's incredible. This attack is just amazing. It's like the black pieces are stepping all over. The black rook at e8 and the black queen at d8 are sort of stepping on black's own toes here.
I mean, it sort of feels like there are no other games going on, but but there are. Nicely enough, these happen to be the two most intriguing, though, so that's good.
Yeah, they're very complex. I'm still not finding a satisfactory defense here for black. We can try queen d7 again. Queen d7, rook e6, f takes e6, queen g5, king f8, rook f1,
okay,
then the knight can go back to f7. Does white have a knockout blow there? Queen g8 check. Yeah, queen g8 check. Wins the house. It looks like, yeah, and bishop f5 is a strong move on, I think, But on queen d7, it looks to me like rook e6 check works as well. Is actually even more of a brilliant move.
So Elliott in his game has played knight b1.
Now there's an international master move for you. Look at that. Look at that. He's trying to provoke black to play b4, and then the white knight is going to come back to d2 and then to c4. Black's going to have none of it and plays c4 himself. So Elliott's trying to get the knight to d5 maybe, but suddenly black has got a little bit of juice in this position.
Yeah, because that queen on e7 is pointed in that diagonal, and
pawn to d4 though for white seems to take care of some of the problems in this position. But black is hanging tough. I like the move. I like the way black has played the rook to a6 to c6 and now played c4. It's gotten himself some counterplay here. Elliott's considering knight c3 or pawn to d4. Pawn to d4 looks like the safe move. And that's why I sort of maybe sort of instinctively want to play that move, because it blocks up the queen side.
And in the other game, Rui is still thinking on the next move.
I think she's in trouble.
She's now under 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think she's in trouble in that game. Pairings played a beautiful attack so far. Very interesting. If I'm Elliott, I want to play. I think I would play pawn to d4 and sort of solve some of these problems here.
d4, and then
if pawn takes d4, queen d4 threatens queen d5 check. Maybe black will play rook d8.
Took the pawn.
He took the pawn on c4?
Yeah.
Okay, that's another direct attempt. Rook c4, knight c3. Black is only attacking. I mean, white's solid on the queen side. d4 looked attractive to me.
Very interesting.
Black's in trouble. You know, Black could be in trouble on the long diagonal on the A2 G8 diagonal in the months to come.
Yeah, it's wide open. Takes back with the rook. So Rui's under. Actually, she played a move. So let's go to that game. She played Queen F8.
I must have a considerable lag again.
Yeah, it'll come up.
Oh, well, no, 2 moves were played. Black played Rook H8.
Yeah, Rook H8, and then Rook AF1, and then Queen F8.
So Rook F8 was Rook AF1 the only move. Can we go back 1 move?
Yeah.
Let's see if Kyron missed something.
So it was here. We'll take the pawn. And then the move that was played was Rook H8.
Okay, so after Rook H8, let's look at the position after Rook H8.
Yep.
Why doesn't Kyron play Rook E6 check here? Pawn takes Rook, Queen takes pawn check, King F8, Rook F1 check, King G7. Is that really surviving? Incredible.
So just moving ahead, brought the other
Amazing.
rook over,
Okay, yeah, let's look at the game position.
and then we're live on that position.
Okay. Queen F8.
And both players are slightly under 4 minutes, so the time is.
Rook E6 check looks like the move here again. Although then
But now the
D7.
queen's out of the way, right?
And King D7 is possible because
Yeah.
the queen is defending the
That's
pawn at
right.
D6.
That's right. What a move! That was a good use of her time because she spent a lot of time.
Absolutely. So let's see what can White do here. Rook F7 check, Knight F7, Queen F6 check. I don't know. Maybe White's running out. Oh no, Rook F7. Black is probably going to take with the Queen. If Knight F7, Queen E6 check, and Rook takes F7.
Wow, this is
So takes
intense.
with the Queen. Rook takes. Knight takes, Queen check, King F8. Black is safe for the moment.
So in the other game, let me just peek real quick.
Wow.
Elliott is down to under 2 minutes, and we've had some exchanges, and it looks like.
Let's see.
Oh, you tell me what it looks.
I think Eric's done well for himself so far.
Yeah, just defending.
I think has done well for himself. Rook D4 maybe now, taking the D file, challenging the D file.
and that is
Looks
what he
strong
did.
for Black. Yeah.
Okay, let's go back real quick to this game.
Yeah. Black has done very well for himself. It looks like close to an equal game here. White was unable to fix the pawns on the queen side. Too bad for Elliott. So Rook F7 check. That looked like probably the move.
Oh,
If Knight F7, Queen E6, King D8, Rook F7. So Queen F7, Rook F7.
so now you got to
And-
do.
Check Bishop G6. And Black is losing the D6 pawn and has an unstable position. Kyron's
look at
initiative.
that! Look at that! So like, if Kyron took the rook, she goes Rook E8.
Oh, what a fantastic move. Absolutely brilliant move.
And threatening mate.
Wow.
That was a pretty good move.
Oh, pretty good is an understatement. It's a brilliant move.
And she played that right away. She saw that. So then if plays a move like h3, then
Well,
rook
bishop
d7.
f7 here. Also h3. I mean, white has a very powerful position here. In any case, rook h7 is played probably because it's the only move.
Wow.
Chiron plays this quickly, and maybe could have kept the bishop on the board.
He's got a minute and 20, so
this is looking like it should be a win for white. I mean, look at all these pawns, everybody.
yeah, it's a lot of pawns, but it's 2 rooks and a bishop. Yeah, he's bringing it out.
Yeah, Charles Bagby. Somebody's talking about Charles Bagby. That's a great book, Tarash's Best Games of Chess. Terrific book. This has got to be a win for white. I mean, white didn't even bother to take the pawn out b4. I guess it was somewhat worthless, and is going to, while black is uncoordinated, is going for the pawn storm. If I'm white, this is quite a game here. And the players are making split-second decisions, interesting decisions. Looks to me like black needs to sort of maybe organize a defense on the second rank, like one of the rooks to e7, and then rook e8 to e7, and then sort of form a defensive line that way. And then try to play rook g7 and white plays pawn to d6.
Quick peek here at board 2.
Wow, this is a great game. And it's coming down to the wire.
And Elliott is got 50 seconds to Eric's 2.5 minutes.
Well, white's still a little better in this endgame.
So let's go back to this game because it looks like the action is here.
Knight a6 here. Elliott's still doing well here in this endgame. Actually, bishop c5. Well,
what games on the top 2?
King g8 here, and then what's white going to do? Play c5 maybe, and then pawn to c6. Quite a game. Or king g8, h6, I guess. Yeah. Some threats. All white has to do is win a bishop, a rook, or something, and the game will be over here. Lots of pawns. Queen and 4 pawns versus rook and two rooks and a bishop.
Look at this. This is just
spectacular game here.
Now look at that move.
White's still in control here.
So black threatening to take on h6.
Let's see, queen d. I'm not sure where I am. Queen d7, rook e7, queen f5, rook f6. It looks like white's on the verge of breaking through here. Oh, now queen h5 and h7. Yikes. Black is going to have to come up with something here. King g8, h7, king h8. Doesn't work for white. Queen g5 first, and now h7. Yeah. Chiron's technique has just been incredibly good here.
What a game. Fantastic win. Wow.
Queen h5 check. Just
Very, very precise.
And jumping to Elliott Winslow, Eric Lee, the end game here.
That's a game to be proud of, Karen. Terrific game.
Fantastic
Absolutely.
win. And let's give it to Rui to find all the resources she could to defend that.
Yeah.
And Kyron still had to play precise, or she could have gotten away with.
Well, White's better here. White's got to, this is, let's see. Black doesn't want to go into a king and pawn ending. If knight d3, king g3, king c5, king c3, White's going to end up with an outside pass pawn. This is right out of the endgame class. It's incredible. Knight endings are a lot like king and pawn endings, and black does well to avoid. The white knight on g4 is going to stalemate the black knight on g7,
and they agreed to a draw.
Yeah, because white, I guess, not enough weaknesses here. It looks like white could maybe try to distract black with the a pawn, play b3, but Elliott didn't want to go through that.
And then
some chances for white there at the end.
Pranav Sairam won this game here as black delivered check, king over. Look at that move. And that was
you
just
mean that
over there.
Queen h4 mate?
Yeah, that mate. So I think all the games are in the books, and Kyron Griffith is the only 4-0 player.
Is that right?
And then
because of Elliott Drew.
Yeah, and Eric Lee.
That was a brilliant game by Kyron, I think.
Yeah,
there might have been some holes in it, but he's living on the edge with his chess this round. These last two rounds. He's played some great games.
And it's going to get even tougher next week because he's in all likelihood going to face either Elliott or Eric, and
maybe back to back,
and possibly back to back. So what a round! Fantastic round!
What a great round! Some good chess by Kyron there. Very precise technique. Everybody's watching. Pay attention to. And finish this game off.
Just a reminder to all players, all the games from this round will be submitted for fair play review. Prior to the start of next week, we should know if there's anything that needs to be addressed. So we just wanted to reassure the players that we take fair play seriously. We do send the games to Dr. Ken Reagan for review, as well as chess.com, and so that we let players know, if you're suspicious of something happening in your game, you can report it all the same to chess.com, and then they'll take a look at it. Tournament director Judith says there are still a few results missing, so she's getting those results together, and then she'll post the updated standings at the link that I am putting up right here. There you go. So yeah. So Elliott's asking, so the report comes from Ken, or it comes back from chess.com. We never know which one gets back first. Usually Ken gets back to us first. But we do both. So that we're aware, and just to be transparent about it, one of the great things about using Ken as a resource is, while chess.com will tell us if someone did break a certain threshold, which would denote that there was a fair play violation, the report we get from Ken tells us if players have come close to breaking that threshold. So when we get alerted that a player may have come close, it's a player that we start looking at just to ensure that everything is on the up and up. So just to be transparent, because I think we should be, and we take this seriously. So that's how it goes down. So Ken's report is valuable to us because we see if some people, although they didn't break a threshold to be deemed fair play violators, there may be close, that it deserves a closer look. So we are aware of that also. So
somebody's suggesting Zoom meetings with angled cameras.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It's like, we've thought of that. And, when we did the invitational with Shanklin and Steven Zurich and Zviad, we did have everyone on a Zoom camera. The thing is that in a tournament of this nature, it's a little difficult and invasive relative to, let's be honest, to the prize pool. We think we can monitor fair play by use of the algorithms and through the double coverage that we get from chess.com and Ken Reagan. And it keeps it fun. It would be a challenge if we had our club regulars, bound by having to put a camera. It's not something we're not open to. I know Pacific Northwest did that, but you're also dealing with GMs playing for a larger prize pool than we do here. So to answer the question, it is possible. Obviously, we can do that, and if we ran a bigger event, we would do that. But relative to the prize pool, relative to the type of club players we have, right? It's just easier for us to do it this way, knowing that we do use two methods of fair play review to go through it. So
plus, there are some chess players that like playing in the nude. You don't want to watch that.
That might be true, but and in all honesty, we have a lot of club regulars that just being on chess.com is a challenge, right? And going through the extra method of making sure that the camera's installed, and it's a challenge, and we have to be a little bit sensitive to those players where technology is already a challenge. And that's something that's particular to our club, right? Where there's a lot of older players that have taken the step to acclimate themselves to just online chess, having the extra step of having the camera. It'd be a challenge. Now, if we ever ran a tournament where we had a significant prize pool, or let's say we did a tournament with like say $50-$60 entry, where we have a $5,000 prize pool, that would probably be something where we would have cameras. We would ask players to have cameras installed to ensure fair play and what have you.
Somebody said they might use my old Paul Whitehead Teaches Chess program to cheat with.
Paul Whitehead Teaches Chess?
Yeah.
Did you have a program like that?
You're not going to believe it, but I did. I'll show you next time we're on Zoom. I'll hold it up to you and show you.
Wow, they're like Bobby Fischer Teaches Chess.
It was from the 19. It was on Commodore.
Commodore. Elliott's saying if they can find Windows 3.1, you can find Windows 3.1. You can find it. Yeah. Or if you can find the floppy disk,
Apple
you can put it in.
Apple II and Commodore 64.
Paul Whitehead tortures chess. So anyway, so fantastic night of chess.
Thanks everybody.
Great wins from Kyron Griffith in both of his games. And he's sole first place going into the next round, but it's going to get even, the gauntlet gets even harder next week. He'll likely have Eric Lee to take on. He may have to take on Winslow and Lee in order to get the first place. But and don't forget, we got players at 2.5 and 3 points that are pretty strong. They're waiting for their shot to move up too. So we will have the standings posted at the link as soon as they are available. I know Judith was gathering all the results. It should be up pretty soon, if not in the morning. I don't want to predict on what time Judith will have that ready to go.
Elliott wants to know, there are only 6 games in this tournament, correct?
6 rounds, yes.
Yep.
The pairing
Okay.
and the pairings for round 5 will be up on next Monday at noon.
You're gonna have to make the next one an 8-rounder, I think, Abel.
Yeah, actually, Judy and I were talking about that, whether 6 rounds was enough, whether 8 was too much. We don't know. I'm a fan of the 8-round, but doing it over 3 weeks is kind of nice and compact too. So we'll see. Actually, if someone wants to send us an email what they think about that, we have thought. Judith says 5 minutes for the standings to go up, so people want to hang tight. They will be at
I'm gonna go have a late dinner.
You go have the late dinner. I'll go have a late snack. And players can check the pairings at the same site. Thank you, Judith, for all the back-end support. She'll have the standings up in a few minutes. Players can check there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and staying with us. We still have a lot of viewers, even after the events here.
Great tournament.
Great tournament, and we will have round 5 and 6 next week. The standings will be up in a few minutes. Thank you, Judith. Eventually, you get to play. And Jonah Bush is in the chat saying any tournament where he does not eventually play Christian Clemens is not a true TNM. So we may just have to manually adjust pairings just to get that. So because we want to stay a true TNM.
I think it's just going to be when we're finally all back at the chess club. It's going to be an unbelievable moment. I mean, when we're like, there's a Tuesday night marathon back at the Physical Mechanics Institute.
Yeah,
I think we're all going to look at each other and just go like, "What happened?"
And I hope, this is just me talking. I hope when we get to that moment, I hope we sit back and say, whatever happens in the rest of our lives, when we had this major life impacting worldwide event, we still played chess. We still had our Tuesday night marathons. We were all still here together. And it's sort of a proud moment for all of us, Judith, you, Nick, that we have this and we have our community doing this. And that's going to be one of the proudest things I'll ever be proud of in being a part of all of this.
It's incredible what you and Judith have done and pulled this out of the hat.
It's a team effort, and none of this would make any difference if we didn't have all our regulars, Jonah, Kyron, and everyone else as part of it. So it's a true family, a true team
Well
effort.
done, everybody.
All right, everyone, have a good night. Standings be up soon, and we will see you next Tuesday and probably Saturday for the Chess.com team match. Have a good night, everyone, and we will see you all later.
All right.